On this show, we speak our minds and open yours. This is
Bongari, drama.
It's the headlines.
Two firefighters injured after fire breaks out at scrapyard, and miniature mayor saved from Japan floods captures hearts. A very good afternoon. I am Rose Ratacha. Two firefighters were injured after a fire broke out at a building at a car scrapyard in Roodepoort on Wednesday morning. Emergency Services spokesperson Nana Lindiwe Khadebe said the firefighters were treated for smoke inhalations after they battled to extinguish the blaze. Details of what caused the fire are still unknown, and preliminary investigations aimed at establishing the cause are expected to be conducted, Khadebe said. She added that it was difficult to extinguish the fire because there were car parts in the yard. She said parts such as bumpers were damaged. Khadebe added that no one was in the building when the fire started. We got reports about the fire at around 1 and battled to extinguish it until 8, Khadebe said. However, she said everything was under control and that they were doing everything they could to prevent the blaze from flaring up again. Earlier, traffic had to be delivered to Westlake Road and onto Main Reef Road. JMPD spokesperson Wayne Minard said traffic congestion has calmed down since then and the roads have been reopened. A miniature horse who survived deadly floods by swimming to a rooftop has captured hearts in Japan as the country tries to recover from record rains that killed at least 179 people. Leaf, a 9-year-old horse who had been a pet at an elderly care home in the town of Kurashiki, spent 3 days stranded on top of a house before she was spotted by aid workers on Mondays as flood waters receded. Photos of the diminutive tan horse with a blonde mane standing forlornly on the rooftop appeared in local newspapers and made a splash on social media, providing a rare moment of levity after the country's worst weather-related disaster in over 3 decades. Relief workers called the fire department after asking for help to rescue her, but were told rescuers were tied up saving human lives, said Kaiko Takahashi of humanitarian aid group Peace Winds Japan. Catch me at 2:30 bringing you your latest sports update. Temperatures are 17 degrees in Johannesburg, 29 degrees in Lagos, and 32 degrees Celsius in Washington, D.C. If we have missed anything newsworthy, feel free to let us know. We are brandlive.co.za on Facebook, and we are Brand Live Radio on Twitter, and I am Khaogelo Rebel Rose Ratacha on Facebook as well. Next up is the Dramatic Talk with Bongani Drama.
It's Kumba the DJ featuring Koki Blue Sensation on this one, folks. We love it so much. Right on the Dramatic Talk on brandlive.co.za. The name is Bongani Drama, and thank you so much for tuning in and streaming in as well. It's going to be quite an amazing one. I'm hoping that you can't and ready for it. We're going to start that from the beginning. A big thank you to Skumba the DJ and featuring Koki Blue Sensation. If you didn't catch that one, thank you so much for streaming in. The name is actually Bongani Drama, 6 after 2 Central African Time. Welcome to it. It's brandlive.co.za. I'm hoping that you're having quite an amazing Wednesday. Not too cold in Johannesburg, South Africa, but you know, we're here, we're right, and we're having quite some time. Rose Rataka is here to give you all the news bulletins and sports. Azza, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Drama?
I am fantastic. A little bit later, I want you and I to divulge you're an actress, right? And you're going to a training actress, and you're going to be, going into a field where there's going to be a lot that's going to be happening, including, perhaps being stuck on set somewhere in KZN. So there's a story that's, been unfolding like that, but we're going to find a bit later on Dramatainment, right? Now, what's coming up on the show, The Convo Corner, we're going to be talking about people who never admit their mistakes, right? If you've ever had anyone, let us know. Hashtag The Convo Corner at Bongani_Drama at Brand Live Radio on Twitter, brandlive.co.za on Facebook as well. Dramatainment coming through. We're going to be looking at 3 South African thespians who took to social media to lash out their frustrations about production houses and agents exploiting them. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin said to be engaged. Congratulations. And I'm going to also be having a chill and chat with Lesson SA, his Lesson_SA on social media. I'm going to be having a chill and chat with him. Hip-hop artist, up and coming, as a producer as well, doing quite amazing, for himself. That's what I'm going to be having for you on the show. I'm hoping you're going to be streaming in 7 after 2 Central African Time. Straight to it. It's time for the Convo Corner. Folks, welcome aboard the Dramatic Talk.
Akulumeni in the Convo Corner.
Check this out.
Time for the Convo Corner.
It is absolutely time for the Convo Corner. And obviously today, as I mentioned, we're talking people who never admit their mistakes. Rose, have you ever been in such a situation where, someone is not admitting their mistake? They've done something and they're not admitting it to say, in actual fact, I was wrong, or you were probably the person.
I know of such people.
Yeah.
Who are unapologetic in their actions.
Yeah.
And they keep, when you don't admit to your mistakes,
Yeah.
you'll continue to do the same thing, which
Completely.
is quite annoying.
Completely.
So, you know what? I've decided to sort of shut myself down
Yeah.
for those people. Because
Yeah.
if I entertain that, then we won't get anywhere.
You're
we'll
not.
keep going in circles.
Completely.
And I'm tired of that.
Completely. You're going to be so stressed. You're not going to be sleeping while the person is having fun sleeping, or whatever the case may be, right? Now, in any relationship, right, there are times where you don't, or, don't do the right things. But you brush off a colleague, you snap at a romantic partner, and you do things that are selfish in order to repair the relationship, right? Although you need to take some responsibility for all of that. Now, by doing this, you can work, to change yourself to improve the relationship in the future. Now, there's a study that was made, Rose, and so I bumped into it. And, the researchers looked at people in long-term relationships in which they were living with their partners. Now, the researchers measured their beliefs about whether personality can change. They also asked people to keep a daily diary for a week to see if, someone's persona can change, while the relationship is still new. Now, for any conflict, the participants, experienced, they were asked to note where they apologized. If they did apologize, they note it down. If they didn't, they don't. Now, as well as whether they took responsibility for their actions as well. So this is a good thing that, was done, and good research that was done. Now, the researchers found that beliefs about whether personality can change did not affect whether, people apologize for their actions, right? But the more strongly people believe that they could change, the more likely they were to take responsibility for their mistakes. So if you believe you can change, then, look, hopefully you can, in actual fact, have an amazing time and mention the fact that you can change and you can admit to any possible situation and anything that you've done to someone.
Yeah, if you can admit to change, then you can change your ways.
Completely. Completely.
And have healthy relationships
Yeah.
with people, whether it's in the workplace,
Yeah.
it's a romantic relationship, or
Yeah.
with your family.
And
you know?
it gets one worked up by all means if you have people that don't do that, right? Now, in a second experiment, the researchers manipulated beliefs about the change by having participants read Either a scientific article supporting the idea that personality remains, relatively fixed by all means, or one that supported the idea that the changes, and after that, participants reach a number of scenarios which directed them to imagine they had done something wrong to someone, right? Now, are those, scenarios, participants also answered a number of questions, including whether they will take responsibility for their actions. It is a huge thing, Rose, that, people never take, to measure their actions, to say, actually, I must take responsibility for my actions. If I hurt someone, I need to say sorry to them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm a saint. Just because those
No.
things have been done to me doesn't mean I haven't done them to the next person.
Yeah, no,
But
completely.
I mean, that's why we have such things as introspection.
Yeah.
You sit down with yourself and introspect your relationships,
Yeah.
how you speak to people,
Yeah.
and, try and fix those.
Try and fix that,
Yeah.
because it does get a little bit of dramatic. It does become a little bit of a problem to other people. That's why you must be nice to people by all means. Now, participants who read the personality can change were more likely to say that they would take responsibility for doing something wrong than those who read that personality remains relatively fixed. So in this study, the folks that said actually, if you have a persona that changes, then perhaps you won't take responsibility for it, right? Because your personality is constantly changing. Now, it is actually begs the opposite question: why would anyone take responsibility for their actions anyway? After all, not taking responsibility allows one to do whatever one feels, whenever one feels, to whomever and wherever they feel like doing it.
That's very childish.
It is.
If you're an adult and you don't want to take responsibility, it's quite childish
Completely.
of you, because you'll continue and continue and continue and eventually lose everyone around you.
Completely.
And then you act as the victim at the end of the
Completely.
day.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know?
happens. Then, in the most difficult category, now, short-term pleasure for you, consequences mostly for others. Now, a low-grade example will be keeping appointments, right? Now, some people make dates and don't keep them. To say we meet on the 17th of June, you never keep them. Now, presumably something else was more fun than you, but let me know. Speak to me. Tell me that if you can't make it next week, then let's speak about it.
Decency.
Decency. Be decent about it
A
and
lot
let
of
me
people
know.
don't have that.
Yeah.
Even if you're like 10 minutes late when we're supposed to meet 10 minutes earlier, pick up the phone and let me know that
And
you're 10 minutes away. You're 10 minutes. It's only decent of you to
Completely.
do that.
It's only decent of you to do that. Do it. Let me know, right? Now, some people make May dates and not mention them, like I mentioned, and presumably something else was more fun. They get to enjoy themselves, and the other people show up and get stood up, right? The people that you actually do the thing to. Now, the consequences of this is that over time, the person gets a reputation as unreliable, and people don't take them serious by all means, right?
Yeah.
It's hard.
I imagine just having that bad reputation.
Can you imagine that?
And it's, it becomes a bad habit.
It's psychotic. I
For
don't-
you, it becomes a bad habit. To other
Yeah.
people, you just have a bad reputation.
You just have a bad reputation
know?
to some people, and you might think that you did something fantastic, but no, you didn't actually.
No, it's not
you
a
hurt
good trait.
someone.
It's not a good personality trait.
It's not a good personality trait. Now, having that laid out, we can look again at the question: the reason people cannot take responsibility in their actions. Somehow they have failed to be present to the impact of their actions to say, "This is what I've done." And I'm moving on from it. So they'd rather not look at that, and they actually don't know that they are hindering their future by all means. Because if you do something to me, then in the future I know that you did something you didn't apologize to. Then why are we having this conversation in the near future if you didn't see it
Absolutely.
last time? Now, some people make dates and don't keep them. We mentioned that. Now they fail to be present, and they are fixated on the present and not present to the damage that will ensue rather in the future. Now, it could be that we are complicit as people. Perhaps we are not polite because we don't want to be held responsible for our own problems or for our own weakness as well as people to say, I'm actually apologizing, but I'm gonna take it as a weakness. Now, having laid that out, we can look at the question one more time, as they've mentioned. And you've gotten into an argument with someone, and the error in their actions were as clear as night by day. Completely, exactly that those people were wrong, but they don't take the action for it.
And you try and let them know, and all of a sudden,
They don't acknowledge it.
yeah, they don't acknowledge it. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, you're the drama queen,
Yeah.
or you're the drama king,
you know what I mean?
or you're overreacting.
Yeah, they make excuses and had no reasons for everything they did. That's what we're mentioning. No matter who they violate in the process or whatever it is, they don't take full responsibility. There's always somebody else to blame. Like you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Now, most of the relationships are chaotic. Now, right, they glorify and then quickly demonize someone as well and have a strong case of, grandiose delusions as well. It's very psychotic, they mentioned. The study mentioned that it's a therapic something that could happen. It's a borderline persona disorder. like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's
It's a disorder.
sociopathic.
Yeah. Sociopathic by all means.
Yeah.
Now, taking responsibility is very tough because sometimes, an abundance of shame comes with it. Now, who wants to be in a culprit or, the reason why someone else is hurt or in some conflict one way or the other? Now, it is easy to point the finger at others. It is, the toughest to point the finger back to ourselves. Now, they mentioned that he spoke to a life coach, right, about this the other day, and this is something they've struggled with. Now, people who cannot see the part in a conflict. She mentions in actual fact that it burns them up and sends them into rage and had to walk away. You mentioned when we began this interview that this conversation rather, that in actual fact you get rage from it. People not saying, "Look, I'm sorry."
Yeah, it's enraging.
Yeah.
Why can you? It's the most decent thing
Yeah.
you can do for a person.
And you can't control their behavior. They will need to change themselves.
So it's just a matter of accepting the apology you'll never get.
There we go. That's it. You've wrapped it up. I love that. You must just move on, knowing that you'll never get it.
Right?
Right? You can't take some lesson also. Now you know that these are easily persuaded, probably, meddle in gossip, and you'll do better and stay away from them. Done.
Absolutely.
Move on, knowing the fact that you're never getting the apology ever again.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. All right, folks, we're going to keep the conversation happening throughout the entire show. Hashtag Convo Corner at Bongani_drama at Brand Live Radio on Twitter, brandlive.co.za and Facebook. What do you think? Have you ever been in a situation where someone would never admitted their problem and never, admitted their mistake rather? And how did you deal with it? Or were you the person that is like that? Go back to that person and apologize, say sorry, and actually admit that you did something wrong. Alrighty,
Yeah.
17 after 2 Central African time. Let us know what you think. On the other side of this drama, 10 minutes coming up. Lesson Essay is also coming up. Your sports bulletin is coming up also at about 2:30. Mike the Most is coming through. Most energy. Enjoy.
Urban sounds on the track.
I don't report in the booth. She want the gin and the juice, pools, got them your cools. If she don't give it up, then I'm a Uber. Her to the crib, busy no glue. I'm done like a fool. Most of these rappers, they sound like my jewel. Your ooh's a groove, but I got the fool. Yeah. I got the fool, man. Yeah. I got the fool, man. Yeah. I got the fool, man. Yeah. This money got me feeling anxious. When I get it, I'ma answer. Baby got me on the cancel. Says I'm too busy, can handle. Attacking the game, I'm miserable. I cannot handle your fakeness. You cannot handle my greatness. I got a baddie called Cindy. She like to try all this weird shit. She always down for a break it. And Papa Neru Mike. We had a chat about real shit. They got me bringing this energy. They try to mess with my energy. They cannot take all this energy. They try to mess with my energy. They try to mess with my energy. They try to take all this energy. They cannot mess with my energy. They cannot mess with my energy. They cannot mess with my energy.
They cannot mess with my energy. I put a case on my enemy. Feeling getting a charge for you player quick. Squatting on the way like my lemon team. Self again a bitch. It's your boss and down, but you mess with my past, yeah, but hang on me. Getting the cheese, but I send it bitch. Making you freeze, not to get a twitch. I'm Bambegi, I'm a ghost, yeah. Getting high in his hole, yeah. Uring, I'm gonna make it a filial jiggy. I'm hanging on like the most. If I choose, I find a spot. The shoe don't fit, I just decide. He energy, I stand pounds. He energy, I start to chat. Sama such a one and bella fed spelling pin. They say I'm full of darkness, man, I'm belling me. Ungas Moshel is catching system 17. Man, you can never mess with my energy. Nyasika nyempe, makolo kuspit uzokrika nyache. Funu kumkini uzoqina ubaleka sokushaya ngispina with bricks and spele. They cannot mess with my energy. They cannot mess with my energy. They cannot mess with my energy. Man, they cannot mess with my energy.
We just bought a new piece. My gang and my clan, I need case. I stand with the realest, you'll never catch us trying to buy face. I'm in my space, different mind state. Haters eating from my plate, but you can never get on my steak. That's my money, nigga. The top, I top, and I just did some lines. I did 16 at the back of the bus. Performed it to crowds and they all caught the buzz. The money is coming, I'm not in a rush. My gang in the seat that you driving no cars. Walking the club, babies making a fuss. Hoping that how much to spend at the bar. Yeah.
Mike the Most, and this one is titled Energy. He was in studio last week and we had so much fun with him, right? He had a party at Kantari last Wednesday. He's having another one, tonight at Cocoon Nightclub. So if you're around, Mike the Most is going to be there. He's going to be with you. He's going to be making it a point, in actual fact. You party with him, and obviously he's still, touring with his, brand new EP. So, it's going to be quite amazing for him.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, folks, it's 21 after 2 Central African time. Let's go straight to it. It's time for Dramatainment.
Extra, read all about it.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
It's the Dramatainment.
It is absolutely time for Dramatainment, and the first story we have for you is 3 South African thespians took to social media to lash out their frustrations about production houses and agents exploiting them. Award winner actress Tusum Bedu, whose debut in Generations The Legacy is soon to happen, took a jab on greedy agents, mentioning an agent or manager, Rose, can't take 40 to 45% of your paycheck. How does that work? You are still being taxed. They're out here taking more money than SARS, unquote. That's what she mentioned.
Yes. So this is why we need more of these master talks
Yeah.
from actor spaces, because I attended one.
Yeah.
And Nhlalele, one of the owners of Canvas Cam,
Yeah.
broke down how much agents actually need to take for their commission. There's an agent's commission.
Yeah.
And it didn't go up to 40 to 45%.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't. It's actually lower.
So all the other ones are sort of exploiting the
That's
artists.
complete exploitation, because they
Shucks.
understand that SARS is also going to tax you.
Yeah.
So there's an agent's commission, which
Yeah.
is a certain percentage, and
Yeah.
then there's your taxes.
There's your taxes,
and then
yeah.
you get your money.
Completely.
So this is complete exploitation. She's
Shucks.
right.
But I mean, look, actresses are coming out to mention, including Scandal actress Khomoto Christopher mentioning, and we quote, I'm still owed residual fees, from working 5 years on Isidingo. And she's mentioned that contractually rather, it leads get to a percentage every time. That's a lead. A show is sold outside the original territory and channel as well, right? Those are royalties. On the other hand, Ferry Jele mentioned and wrote an open letter actually that folks just across, the SABC, in which she spoke about the broadcaster leaving her and the crew in the production stranded in Shagaland, KZN, mentioning in part, I don't know where to begin, but I feel I would not be doing myself, no one else justice if I keep mum about this saga. Now, the letter further mentioned that in part, I can't describe the anguish, distress, and defeat felt by myself, cast and crew stranded at Shagaland Eshowe. Can you imagine that? Here's a cast, here's a crew, you're stranded, you're shooting a movie, you're shooting a series, and there's no money.
It's not fair. If
Yeah.
this is what we were talking about a few days ago with my friend.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
there's an acting workshop that's happening. It's about like 750 for
Yeah.
the day, and the person who's hosting it was a well-known proper presenter.
Yeah.
Right. But the only thing that they know is that type of presenting. So
Aha.
for 750, what are we paying for? Because there's different styles of presenting.
Yeah.
You get music shows, you
Yep.
get kids shows,
Yep.
and you get all
Talk
these other
shows.
talk shows and
Yep.
whatever. But we're only given a certain style of we're only taught a certain style
Of
of at this
presenting.
workshop for
Yeah.
750.
Shucks.
Is this what it means when they say they're opening up the industry?
But I mean, also, I think as a person, also, if you really love it so much, train by yourself. You learn to understand it and learn by yourself. Try and get out there by all means and learn by yourself. If you feel that, at that particular point or at that particular place, they're not teaching you the different styles, go find someone else that's going to teach you.
Yeah,
out.
look at Thabo Rametsi. Kalushi, he says he read what an actor prepares by Stanislavski on a train.
Can you imagine that?
He read
But
books
he-
by himself. He never got
completely.
proper training,
Training from
like
it.
most of us. But he's brilliant.
He's doing
because
it.
He reads.
Fantastic.
These books are out here.
Yeah, so find it as a thespian, as an artist as a whole. Go the extra mile for yourself, because no one is going to spoon feed it to you, right?
Yeah, don't limit yourself as
Ever,
well. Don't
ever.
wait for a production house to teach you.
To
when
cheat
when you get there and you've been casted for a role,
Yeah.
you must know what blocking is.
That's true. You must have the idea for it, right?
Exactly. Simple
Alrighty.
things.
Simple things like that. All right, now Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin said to be engaged. Now Bieber proposed in a restaurant full of people at a resort in Bahamas on Saturday. According to the two eyewitness informants, and I quote, everyone was salsa dancing, and when Justin's bodyguards asked that everyone to put their phones away as something special was about to happen, Justin then popped the question, and Hailey said yes. Now Justin's 24 and Hailey's 21 years old, all right? So we all know that this engagement might just be an engagement, and that's it. Whatever the case may be. Bieber did, however, confirm the report on his Instagram page, mentioning how in love he is and that he knows Hailey as his wife. However, the singer's dad sought for confirmed, of this, engagement on his Instagram account, mentioning proud is an understatement. Excited to the next chapter, he mentioned.
Well, congrats
So congratulations
to
to
Justin
them.
and Hailey.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
We love them so much, and I'm hoping that it will last. If it doesn't, it becomes such a problem, right?
And they've got years to patch that because, I mean, they're only 24 and 21, so they can
Yeah.
get engaged for like 3 years.
Completely.
You know?
It's crazy. All right, folks, it's 26 after 2 Central African time. That's it. That's what we have for you right on Dramatainment. Catch Dramatainment on your weekly entertainment roundup on Khao TV every Fridays at 9 p.m. with myself, Bongani Drama. For more and more of Dramatainment, here's viewer Kyolwana Yandi Kaza taking you to your sports headlines. Stick around.
Can you tell that I'm coming closer? And I don't wanna see no females acting fresh when I show up. And when I see you, my heart's a roller coaster. I forget about the past, the Luhoiwa. I don't got no other lover in mind. And if we're gonna take this forward, catch me outside. I don't got no other baby in mind. And if we're gonna make this happen, let's do it right. Can you tell who you because I'm waiting for you, just follow. I'm waiting for you, just follow me. Can you tell my body's moving slow? And I just can't take my eyes off you. I can tell you noticing the glow up. I forget who you with, tell who you are. I don't got no other lover in mind. Oh, if you wanna take this forward, catch me outside. Yeah. I don't got no other baby in mind. And if we're about to make this happen, let's do it right. Can you tell who you're just my type, wasting my time. I'm waiting for you, just follow. You're just my type, wasting my time. I'm waiting for you, just follow me. You're my weekend special. Can you hold me down when no one's around? I want tonight to last forever. Maybe we can be something later. Have to go, I won't regret ya. Feels so good, I won't forget ya. Say something good to I don't got no other lover in mind. And if we're gonna take this forward, catch me outside. I don't got no other baby in mind. And if we're gonna make this happen, let's do it right. Let's do it right, let's do it right. You're just my type, wasting my time. You know that I like you, baby. You're just my type, wasting my time. I'm waiting for you, just follow.
time to buckle up.
Now, this is
Time to talk about sports.
Don't touch that dial.
It's time for the sports news and the sporting stars of tomorrow right here on
Brand Live.
Kickstarting your sports news this afternoon with the World Cup, Deschamps urges France to seize their shot at redemption. A very good afternoon, I am Rose Ratacha. France coach Didier Deschamps urged his side to seize their chance of redemption in the World Cup final after admitting he still has not got over the pain of defeat in the Euro 2016 final. Samuel Umtiti headed the goal in a 1-0 semi-final win over Belgium in St. Petersburg on Tuesday, consigning the Red Devils' gold generation to another bitter defeat. France's own supremely talented young squad will now aim to make amends for defeat on home soil to Portugal 2 years ago in Sunday's showpiece against England or Croatia. Finals have to be won because we have still not got over the one we lost 2 years ago, said Deschamps. And in tennis, Serena sets sights on 8th Wimbledon title as Serena Williams prepares for her 35th Grand Slam semi-final for the American star says a fear of failure is driving her bid for an 8th Wimbledon title. Williams avoided a major upset on Tuesday as the former world number one battled back to beat unseeded Camilla Giorgi 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 in the center court thriller. The 36-year-old's quarter-final escape act set up at least 4 showdown with German 13th seed Julia Georges on Thursday. Serena hasn't won a Grand Slam since the birth of her daughter Olympia in September, and her last trophy came at the 2017 Australian Open. Catch me again in the last few minutes bringing you your last news bulletin and sports update. If we have missed anything newsworthy, feel free to let us know on Facebook. We are brandlive.co.za. On Twitter, we are Brand Live Radio. And temperatures remain 17 degrees in Johannesburg, 29 degrees in Lagos, and Washington, D.C., 32 degrees Celsius. For Brand Live News, I am Khaukhelo Rebel Rose Ratacha on Facebook. Stay tuned to the Dramatic Talk with Bongani Drama.
Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you for those, sports news. And I mean, look, have you been watching or following the FIFA World Cup?
I only watched a bit yesterday.
Just a bit, right? I haven't been really, haven't watched an entire, match. But, I catch it there if I'm visiting someone and they're watching, or I'm at home and dad is watching. And but I think France is going to take it. I don't know why. But I think as one person doesn't watch soccer, people need to listen to me.
Yeah.
You
I
must
think
get it from
France is also going to get it. I mean,
I think so too.
Deschamps
Yeah.
wants this so much
Right.
as a coach, and he will do anything.
There's a video on social
to
media
get it.
surfacing in actual fact of when the fans, the Brazil fans, were welcoming back the team. It got a little bit dramatic. Mm-hmm. It got so sad that actually they were throwing stuff to the bus.
Yeah, no, that's
It's
not
quite-
cool.
It's not fantastic. Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much, Rose Ratacha. She's coming again at 10 to 3 with your last news bulletin at 14:33 Central African Time. Right on brandlive.co.za. Last NSA is coming up on the other side of this. Stick around.
Man, I just got paid. Yeah, it feels good. Trust me. I won't spend all this cash tonight.
I love my work and I just got paid today. I love my work and I just got paid today.
Yeah, I say the book says one-on-one, that's when you weigh in. A good pay used to pay, put to up my stress. Crime pays, watch me kill versus me versus me, I'm my only competition. Week after week, more hits, but we're grinding. I see them getting weak, cause we're throwing heavy punches. Bring another round, I'm the only one paying. Haters don't like good shit like Satan. Won't stress about them, I'm out here getting faded. But they wanna elevate above Molly and the realest. Must spend it like my first pay, drink it like I'm thirsty. If you think I'm wasting money, please just ignore me. You ain't my financial advisor, please don't advise me. Any, many, money, more money, that's for sure. Look on born on reposol, painted pictures with my flow. Hip hop Michelangelo, it's all for the dough, ho.
I love my work and I just got paid today.
I'm gonna die poor, so I stood up. Bukdalang boarding dala grew up. I'm not good at saving money. I invest it, spend it for I make it China. I'm so reckless when they told me to save money for a rainy day. I told them I'm the one that makes it rain. The cost of living is expensive. All my debit orders bounced. I withdrew all the money in my bank account. My daily limit is your monthly limit. A cell phone number has lesser digits. Man, I'm just kidding. I'm a floss like a dentist. The devil wears Prada, so I stay fresher than that. The VIP section has a dance floor where the models at, where the models at, where the champagne bottles at. It's really sick and it's really cognac. Put me in more presidential suits than the president.
I love my work and I just got paid. I love my work and I just got paid. It's my money, I'ma spend it how I like. I work hard.
His name is Lesson. We love it so much. This one is titled Payday. He's featuring Cloud on this one and is right here in studio. Now, if you just streamed in, folks, on the Convo Corner, we were talking people who never take responsibility of their mistakes. If you've ever been one of those people, or, perhaps you have found someone, in actual fact, that was probably that person, let us know. People who never take responsibility of, obviously, their mistakes. Hashtag the Convo Corner at Bongani_drama on Twitter, Bongani Drama on Facebook, at Brand Live Radio on Twitter, brandlive.co.za on Facebook as well. Lesson Makubela is a rapper, a producer, a writer, and was born in Alexandra Township in the 90s, but originally is from Limpopo and in Malamulele, to be quite exact. Now, he studied in Limpopo till matric, and after matric, he furthered his studies at the Tshwane University of Technology, doing multimedia and graphic design. Welcome to the Dramatic Talk, Lesson.
I'm honored, man. I'm honored.
Fantastic. Closer to the mic for me, please, if you can.
Okay,
right.
okay,
And
okay.
How has everything been for you?
Everything's been kind of slow, but I'm enjoying everything. Like, I'm enjoying the ride,
Yeah.
I'm a very chilled guy.
Yeah.
So,
How was it for you, growing up, obviously, in Alexandria? You were born there, and how was the experience, for you growing up in a township?
Obviously, like, opportunities, they're not that many, they're lacking, but it was cool, man. It was cool.
Yeah.
Because I've always surrounded myself with, positive
Great.
people.
Stunning.
So like my friends, because actually what happened is, I actually went to school in Malamule. So I came back this side.
But wait. So let's talk about, being born in Alexandra.
Yes.
And so at what age did you then move to Malamulele?
Yeah, I think I was like young. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I was quite young.
You were quite young. Closer to the mic again for me, just a little bit.
Because it was quite dangerous.
Yeah.
So my dad wanted me to study that side.
Yeah.
In Alex.
Yeah.
But it was.
So it was a little bit, what? Was it the problems?
Yeah, it was, in the 90s, Alex was rough.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking the question, right?
Then my mom was like, okay, cool. You cannot grow up this side.
Yeah.
So you take him, to the safer side.
To the safer side, right?
So, yeah.
Shucks. You were sort of like in exile. So you're an appetite stalwart. I'm joking. It's a joke. Now, you went on to go study multimedia and graphic design at the Tshwane University of Technology. And was that your passion?
Yeah, of course. The arts. I've always loved the arts.
Nice.
Like, been drawing. I've been painting.
Fantastic.
Everything that has to do with the arts. So when I went to, because what I did is I started with fine arts.
Yeah.
Then I later on changed second year to multimedia.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finished multimedia.
Oh, fantastic! But were you loving multimedia? Is it something that you've always wanted to do, perhaps, and you thought maybe let me go for it?
Yes, actually, fine arts, it wasn't something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, I kind of like multimedia is something that I kind of find out about it.
Nice.
While I was studying for
Nice.
fine arts, then I was like, okay, cool. I can still change. It's still time.
There's still time for me to do
Yeah.
it. And I mean, how did the hip hop come about then? From you studying multimedia and graphics. By the way, I studied, in TUT as well, Arts Campus though.
Okay.
Right, where the best kids come from, Arts Campus by all means,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All these other ones I don't really know about. I've never met. I've never been in any other of the campuses of TUT. I'm joking. But I mean, then how did hip hop come about? Obviously, here you are studying multimedia and graphic designing, and you decide, well, hip hop is gonna be my thing.
I mean, I started when I was like, I remember I got inspired when I was like 10.
Yeah.
And then I started writing my own stuff when I was like 14, 15.
Fantastic.
But 10, 11, that's when I started listening to hip hop and I got inspired. I was like, okay, this is the coolest thing in the world. Then I just kept on, making music and multimedia kind of. It was on the same lane.
Yes.
With the music, then
Oh, that's fantastic. And now, obviously, then, what I love most about your music, I'm going to tell you about your music because I've listened to it. I love the usage of Chitsonga in the
Yes.
music, right? And
Yes.
was it the thing that you thought about and you thought maybe, for my own music, or because in this hip hop genre, there's a lot of people that are part of it, for yourself? I mean, you find people like Ifani who decided to rap in isiXhosa. We have right now Shoma Josie who's rapping and amazing.
yeah.
He's got Shona part of her stuff. It's Chitsonga as well. I think Vanda as well that she raps in as well.
Yeah.
And, so was it something that you thought about and you thought maybe, I can actually make it work for myself?
Yeah, actually, I have a mentor. I started rapping in English. I used to only rap in English, and then my mentor was like, "Yo, man, why don't you fuse it?"
Yeah.
And then when I started fusing it, it was like, okay, this is very nice. Like the flow.
Let me go about it. Let me go with it, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, like Tsonga was like because it's my mother tongue, so everything is just flows,
Fantastic.
It just flows. It's just easy, and I mean, it's a good choice.
It's a good choice, right? It's fantastic. Alrighty, folks, it's 1442 Lesson SA on all your social media platforms. Lesson_SA. And he's having a chat with me right on the dramatic on brandlive.co.za. You want to tell me a little bit about the song title When I Talk About It? Right?
You mean like Payday or?
No, when I talk about the other one, the other track.
What is it about? Because I think I have like 3 songs.
Yeah, but the other one. So tell me about the other one.
The other one is
What I Like.
Oh, What I Like.
Yes.
Actually, What I Like is a very simple concept. Is I'm just talking about stuff that I like. Is as a young man,
Yeah.
we like to drink. We like to party.
Oh no, yeah.
I love the money.
Uh-huh.
I love busting flows. I love getting dough.
So it's What I Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I like. So actually, when you listen to the verses, I actually talk more about other stuff that I like also.
Fantastic. Okay, let's have a listen, folks, to this song. Let us know what you think as well on hashtag Drama-tainment. Actually, at Brand Live Radio on Twitter, brandlive.co.za on Facebook. What I Like by Lesson SA. We come back and, find out a little bit about, Down to Earth, right? And a little bit more playing a game as on the other side of this. 1444 Central African Time.
One's a TT student, I like to shut it down. She tell you that you're so busy cause I'm back in town. Fell in Tabacomba, but this shit is so profound. Homie, this is no accident, it's 10 to the pound. You ain't legit, your flow is stolen. Only the weak will be moved and shaken. I will reap from this seat in my oven. I goes deep beyond your reach like solvent. Real knows real, I don't need to say more. I need to stack this paper, homie, I've been broke. Young LE, call me hybrid. Can't you see I'm half human, half machine? I like to bust flows, I like to get dough. She likes to get low on the dance floor. This is what I like. This is what I like. I like to get it done when I be number one, and I just begun. Run, body run. This is what I like. This is what I like. Got City Kasi Batantiva. I came to heal this ill rappers, look on Gal Stevie. I'm the rap doctor, the one to go to if you got a bad shoulder. I got a perfect remedy for your lady. One stroke, so love a kubo na my old lady. Always on the phone, trying to spark a conversation. Seductive and info, I need more ammo. Always ready for some action. This is what happens when you suffer from the addiction. Nothing but a love song under construction. So I give it a D and let it do the dishes. Ita yimbelele simurachela till morning, till morning. I like to buy flows, I like to get dough. She likes to get low on the dance floor. This is what I like.
What I like, a lesson on brandlive.co. The dramatic talk on Sapongani drama, 14:45, 15 minutes before 3 p.m. Still having a change up with lesson. Now, lesson, tell me a little bit about Down to Earth, the group.
Down to Earth is a crew I started with my homeboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started when we were we were young actually. Just having fun, making songs, making beats and just rapping and just making mixtapes and that's how.
Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna play a little game with you.
Okay.
Right? The game is titled the 5 questions quiz. 5 questions in 30 seconds, A or B.
Okay.
It's an exam question.
All right.
All right. Do we have our clock ready? Clock standing by. Clock in. Multimedia or hip hop?
Hip hop.
Hip hop. Tupac or 50 Cent?
Tupac.
Tupac. South Africa or the United States?
South Africa.
Rapping in English or in Chitsonga?
Chitsonga all the way.
Alrighty, so you made it actually before 30 seconds. How many seconds was that? Probably, you did it in about 10 seconds or so, right? So congratulations, that's amazing. But I mean, why Tupac and not 50 Cent?
Tupac, I think Tupac got much soul.
Yep.
I relate more. 50 is more gangster.
Yeah.
I'm not gangster.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's why I choose Tupac, and I think Tupac was more of it represented revolution.
Fantastic.
So when I look at where I come from, Alex, Malamlele, and it's much like it inspires.
Yeah.
He inspires me a lot.
He inspires you a lot.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And listen, what do you want to say to a lot of other people coming from Malamulele, right? A lot of young kids and that want to be, in a similar path as your path, and they want to, sort of get into the rap industry as well. What do you want to say to them?
All I can say is don't be scared, man. Don't be scared. Just follow your heart. Do you? And don't be scared.
Just go for it.
Yeah, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Just do your thing. Just do your thing.
Fantastic. There's a lot of people on social media asking, about, they want to see you, they want to see your face. So let us know who your name is on social media.
Okay.
So they can follow you quickly.
Lesson of lessons. Just lesson essay.
Lesson essay, that's it. Lesson _ essay or just lesson essay?
Yeah, underscore is my, my page.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so the other one is just,
It's just lesson essay.
Yeah.
Alright, if you want to find out more about Lesson and you want to see him as well in action, follow him on your social media platforms as Lesson Essay. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for acknowledging our invite as well.
I'm very, very honored.
Fantastic.
I'm the one supposed to thank you for this platform.
For this opportunity, that's okay. Yeah. I always give everyone an opportunity, right? Everywhere I am, and I'm hoping that everyone else will be part of it as well. And making it a point that you grow in the industry, and I'm wishing you all the best. I mean, years from now, you'll be winning the summers. You'll be taking a lot of other accolades as well for yourself, right?
Of course.
Fantastic. Because we didn't play the entire track, we're gonna make it a point that we play it again. Do you want to introduce the song for us? The one that we just played.
What I Like.
What I Like. So we're going to play What I Like again, and because we didn't play all of it, so we're going to try and play, again, What I Like by Lesson right here on the Dramatic Talk. Lesson, thank you so much again, one more time. Alrighty.
And yes, my album is out. You can check my album on iTunes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Lesson Fresh Air. You'll get the
Lesson Fresh Air on iTunes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. 14:49 Central African Time, the Dramatic Talk. Lesson, do what I like. Enjoy.
She likes to get low on the dance floor. This is what I like. This is what I like. I like to get it done when I be number one, and it just begun. Run, body run. This is what I like. This is what I like. Was once a TT student. I like to shut it down. She tell you that you're so busy cause I'm back in town. Fell in Tabacomba, but this G is so profound. Homie, this is no X, then it's 10 to the pun. You ain't legit, your flow is stolen. Only the weak will be moved and shaken. I will reach from the Z in my oven. I goes deep beyond your reach like solvent. Real knows real, I don't need to say more. I need to stack this paper, homie, I been broke. Young LE, call me hybrid. Can't you see I'm half human, half machine? I like to bust flows, I like to get dough. She likes to get low on the dance floor. This is what I like. This is what I like. I like to get it done when I be number one, and it just begun. Run, body run. This is what I like. This is what I like. Kasi the kasi batantiva. I came to heal this ill rappers. Look on Gal Stevie. I'm the rap doctor, the one to go to if you got a bad shoulder. I got a perfect remedy for your lady. One stroke, so love a kubo na my old lady. Always on the phone, trying to spark a conversation. Seductive and info. I need more ammo. Always ready for some action. This is what happens when you suffer from the addiction. Nothing but a love song under construction. So I give it a D and let it do the dishes. Ita yimbele la simmerachela till morning, till morning. I like to bust flows, I like to get dough. She likes to get low on the dance floor. This is what I like. This is what I like. I like to get it done when I be number one, and it just begun. Run, body run. This is what I like. This is what I like.
It's time to buckle up.
Now, this is Bongari Drama.
Making a bold statement yet blending into the surrounding suburbs of Melville, 27 Boxes is a realization of edgy design and practical implementation. A radical departure from the shopping malls of our generation, yet not a return to the high streets of our youth. 27 Boxes showcases the best of a shopping centre set in a garden, surrounded by the bohemian suburb that is Melville. 27 Boxes, shop, play, eat.
The Dramatic Talk with myself, Bongani Drama. Bringing you insightful conversations on the Convo Corner, your latest celebrity news on Dramatainment, and your latest fashion news on Stash and Fade.
This is Bongani.
And myself, Rose Rataha, bringing you your latest news and sports updates.
Every Wednesdays, 2 to 3 p.m. Only on www.grandlife.co.za.
It's time to buckle up.
Now, this is Bongani Drama.
It's the headlines.
It is indeed 14:53, and recapping your top stories this afternoon: 2 firefighters injured after fire breaks out at scrapyard, and miniature mayor saved from Japan floods captures hearts. A very good afternoon. I'm Rose Rataha. 2 firefighters were injured after fire broke out at building at a car scrapyard in Roodepoort on Wednesday morning. Emergency Services spokesperson Nana Lindiwe Khadebe said the firefighters were treated for smoke inhalation after they battled to extinguish the blaze. Details of what caused the fire are still unknown, and preliminary investigations aimed at establishing the cause are expected to be conducted, Khadebe said. She added that it was difficult to extinguish the fire because there were car parts in the yard. She said parts such as bumpers were damaged. Khadebe added that no one was in the building when the fire started. We got reported about the fire at around 1 and battled to extinguish it until 8, Khadebe said. However, she said everything was under control and that they were doing everything they could to prevent the blaze from flaring up again. Earlier, traffic had to be diverted to Westlake Road and onto Main Reef Road. JMPD spokesperson Wayne Menard said traffic congestion has calmed down since then and the roads have been reopened. A miniature horse who survived deadly floods by swimming to a rooftop has captured hearts in Japan as the country tries to recover from record rains that killed at least 179 people. Leaf, a 9-year-old horse who had been a pet at an elderly care home in the town of Kurashiki, spent 3 days stranded on top of a house before she was spotted by aid workers on Mondays as flood waters receded. Photos of the diminutive tan horse with a blonde mane standing forlornly on the rooftop appeared in local newspapers and made a splash on social media, providing a rare moment of levity after the country's worst weather-related disaster in over 3 decades. Relief workers called the fire department asking for help to rescue her, but were told rescuers were tied up saving human lives, said Kaiko Takahashi of humanitarian aid group Peace Wins Japan. Catch me again next week between 2 to 3 p.m. on Wednesdays, bringing you your latest news and sports updates. For Brand Live News, I am Gaugelo Rebel Rose Rataha on Facebook, and stay tuned to the Dramatic Talk with Bongani Drama.
Thank you so much, Rose, and thank you so much, for today as well. A big thank you to you. And there's a lot happening, in the world. And, I think I remember hearing about this thing in Rudiport. This, a scrapyard, burning
setting
up.
ablaze. Yeah,
Shucks.
it happened on Monday.
Happened on Monday. Quite crazy, right?
No, it happened this morning, sorry.
It happened this morning. I apologize.
Yes.
It also happened this morning. I heard about it this morning as well. So, quite scary. 14:56 Central African Time on the Dramatic Talk on brandlive.co.za. If you're streaming in, folks, thank you so much for streaming in. And you just streamed in. This is the Gateway. We're saying goodbye to you. Here's what we had for you on the show. In the corner, we're talking people who never admit their mistakes, right? So we had a little bit of that. And on Drama Entertainment, we spoke 3 South African thespians who took to social media to lash out about their frustrations about production houses and agents as well. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin also came through. We spoke about them and, congratulations as well to their engagement more than anything. Rose Rataha came through with your sports news. And our guest that we had on the show that we were speaking to just now, actually Lesson SA on all your social media platforms. We love him so much and we can't wait to see more of him as well. Hip-hop artist and producer as well. 14:57 Central African Time. Rose Rataha next week again.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Leaving you with an amazing one by Tipsy Malume, because obviously, Durban July just happened. So maybe let's continue the fun a little bit. The name is Bongani Drama. Keep it, know it, and never forget it. God be the glory. An amazing Wednesday further. Bye-bye.
Get jealous,
soldier. I'm so good at brains.